Welcome to Tech Talks with me, Rob Brown, and another episode with Jeremy Hyman. Jeremy, great to have you with us. And talk to us about proactivity. Accountants are not necessarily known for it, but we know of clients that have not been served well by their accountants, perhaps sitting on their hands and waiting for this storm to blow over. So first, what does proactivity mean to you?
Proactivity is an overused term, but I think what it means over here is actually picking up the phone and talking to your client. It's as simple as that.
How
So we could go for some complicated explanation, but to me, that's what it means. I used to have a colleague. He was great, actually, a mentor of mine, really. And he said, don't send an email when you can phone. Don't make a phone call when you can meet. And that, to me, is a great definition, frankly, of proactivity. Yeah. It's go and reach out to your client, talk to them.
Well, with all the data that accountants now have on their business clients, there are so many reasons to pick up the phone and so many ways to trigger a conversation, aren't there?
There absolutely are. I mean, you've got all of the data at your fingertips. So if you're doing, a good example is clients that are using Xero with their accountants. Right. So they are using or QuickBooks Online or whatever it turns out to be, but there is that flow of information continually through the month. And I would urge people, before they pick up the phone to the client, open up their accounts in Xero, have a look at what's going on. Just get yourself familiar, because you can bet your bottom dollar that your client thinks you've done that. And yet often we don't, we don't even make the phone call, let alone gen ourselves up before we make the call.
Mm. And a lot of these clients are doing amazing things. They don't often get the praise and encouragement from their accountant as the trusted advisor, do they?
It's amazing, isn't it? If most people think of their accountant most of the time as the harbinger of doom, here's how much tax you're going to have to pay, here's a deadline, here's some government requirement that you're not fulfilling in the right way. Clients don't want to talk to you about their interest stat return or their VAT return or any of those things. They want you to reach out to them and say, do you know what, I've been looking at your accounts in Xero, you had a great month last month, it's really tough times and you did really well, or that was a great sale, or I see you've had your best month ever. And the number of accountants who A, have that data at their disposal, and then B, don't make that phone call is huge. And yet, just think about your own experience, Rob. You'd love someone to pick up the phone and say, I was really impressed with that, you did really well.
Yeah.
And if it was your accountant, you'd be gobsmacked.
And it's such a lost opportunity if they don't do it right.
Who else has got the data? Their lawyer is not going to ring up and say you had a really good month. Their bank certainly isn't.
No. So
you, as a trusted advisor, without any kind of misuse of the data, because you've been asked to do it, have got that information, and yet accountants don't use it, and they really should.
But are you asking too much of accountants, Jeremy? Are we looking at a super breed here where they are part counselor, part therapist, part friend, part storyteller, part encourager and cheerleader, as well as doing the technology and the accounting stuff?
I think, first of all, you've just described the perfect accountant, by the way. And no, we're not asking too much, because the heavy lifting of what I'm talking about, their systems can do for them, right? It's not a massive job to say to your in-house systems, when X, Y, and Z is true, drop me an email with the fellow's phone number or with the business owner or whatever, and a message, and I'll do the last mile. I'll pick up the call and say, hello, Jill, that was a great month you had last month. So it's the appropriate use of technology to churn through all the information, and the end point is simply a task or an email for a manager or a partner to pick up the phone and say, this is what I want to say to you.
Yeah. Jeremy, it seems so simple, but it's actually very thought-provoking for accountants. Any final words of advice to give them to take this step into this world of being a lot more encouraging for clients?
I think that accountants who are nervous of making that call should think back to all the times they have done it and how well it went.
Brilliant.
And just take confidence from that and realize that actually that's what clients want to hear.
Yeah, that's inspiring, Jeremy. Thanks so much for your insights on Tech Talks today.